Hello everybody, I'm Jacob Kringstad with STP Manufacturing. I want to talk a little bit today about the road to silage and what it took for us to get there. It was actually quite a journey. Started back in 2015, 2016, before my time, I guess, on the Crop Shuttle. So there's really no documentation, I feel, or any research really to show how the crop conveyed and what it took to get there. I think they more so just ran it through the machine and kind of just got a ballpark, you know, and just an idea if it would work, and it did, but it wasn't ideal. So my first run-in with silage would have been January 23rd of 2019. I had some custom harvesters reach out to me and wondered what it would take for our crop shuttle run silage, and that's kind of where it began for me. We ran over to a local dairy, I believe, right in Princeburg, Minnesota here, and we just took a standard cart that my buddy uses for carrots and red beets. Great customer of ours down in Wilmer. We ran it just down the road, and we decided to run some silage out of the feed pile through it, and to see how far off we were, so I could start getting true numbers for me. And that's kind of where it all started. That cart was a 2018 Crop Shuttle. It did not have the high-rise front door. It had a tip top on the front and a 52-inch wide boom. That one also had a rubber floor on it and some green distribution rollers, we call it. So actually it choked off the silage pretty good, and it actually conveyed it really well. You know, there was no spilling. Came out in a couple minutes. It actually had a little bit of bridging issue, so you can see that the product was kind of sticking inside the hopper a little bit, being that it was probably around 0 degrees and the silage is wet and hot. It liked to stick in there. But you can see we weren't too far off, actually. Our very first just standard cart running through the pile. So, you know, we did all that testing, got all that through, and then it kind of just got silent. It kind of fell through. And then what happened was we got a really wet harvest. Well, then we had all sorts of interest, obviously. I think it was about July 10th they reached out to me again, wondering what advancements we made, and of course, since it was completely silent, there really wasn't any. So we decided to get back out in the field and take the 2019 Crop Shuttle and see what that would do. That one had a high-rise door, so there was no blockage of the silage. We're trying to stuff it through, so we thought maybe that would be a little better to let the silage do its thing. So we brought that out to the field and we ran some tests again, got some flow readings and some pressure readings just to see what silage would do. That wasn't in a feed pile, but actually directly loaded by a chopper. That actually worked pretty well too. There was some spilling issues, it was coming over the boom, so we put some plastic on there, made some temporary boom tins, we call them, and it worked decent. There was some spillage, but at least we knew what we had to do to design the next cart. From there, we decided to build a crop shuttle with silage in mind. We'll take the components that we have for sugar beets and put them into a crop shuttle that could be used for silage, because the bottom floor, instead of a rubber floor, we went drag bed. We decided to put the high-rise front door on it. We thought, the advantage of having the boom being wider, we could stick it under the cart a little more, and then obviously we'd catch more off the front, and then we raised the boom tins up quite a bit. Being that boom was that wide, I was a little bit concerned about having drive issues on driving the boom, so we actually decided to do a sprocket run on it where it's not rubber the entire way. There's actually a part where the sprocket runs in between the web. So next time that cart actually got to touch silage again, the one that we built with silage in mind, was December 12th of 2019. And so extremely cold time of year for us. I think we were in the negative 20s, had a lot of issues getting it to run just because we couldn't build pressure. The oil was so cold. We actually had about 50-60 people come out to watch it, and we could hardly get the thing to run. We couldn't build pressure, so then the hopper wouldn't run, and it's just kind of a joke. But so we took that full week to make some modifications. We put insulation, looks like a pool noodle, on all the hydraulic lines, made jumper hoses so we could cycle the oil and keep the tank hot right up until we unloaded. And we got it to work. I made a video, showed all the growers, but of course, seeing is believing. They were already all moved on by then, because it's a week later. And we made a couple other changes too, but we still had some issues. So We went back, we made all those changes, we made the boom tins higher, we took out that sprocket run, we sealed it up a little better, we feel. So then it was time to bring it down to Wilcox, Arizona. So that's beginning of April. We sent the machine down there, like I said, in February, so it was already there when I got there. Where, of course, things have changed dramatically since then. We're in the middle of a COVID-19 pandemic, so plans changed over and over and over again. But the next part of the story here is actually me traveling down there, running the cart actually in silage and actually fine-tuning it into what I believe is now the full-bore production model. It's not just a concept anymore. Enough where I'm comfortable sharing the video online and start to market this thing and actually get these videos in the hands of the consumer now. So we've come a long way, and here's the rest of that story. I'm on my way to Arizona right now to set up a cart and then do some prototyping. We are going to be running wheatledge. Right now it's April, so as you can tell, up in North Dakota there's no crop really ready to run other than out of the pile. So we want to do some true in-field testing. So we sent it all the way down to Arizona where the wheatledge is ready. So I was going to do some video yesterday up to travel, but I left at 2:30 in the morning, so obviously it was dark. And also by the time it was daylight, I hit a blizzard in South Dakota, and it basically followed me all the way. I put on 1,250 miles yesterday. Most of that was in snow. I'm currently in New Mexico, which I thought would be a little bit better weather, but as you can see, we got another 3 to 5 inches, and hopefully as I get out of the elevation here, it'll be a little better. But so right now I'm going to focus on driving, but when we get there, I'm going to do the setup process and then do some training and get the tricks and tips out of the way. And then once it's running, I'm going to be pulling data, pulling numbers, gallons a minute, pressure, stuff like that, to get that thing dialed in for them, and then hopefully get some good video to show you guys what wheatledge looks like down in Arizona. So until then, I'm going to sign off. All right, so here we are on Friday. I think I last talked to you on Monday. Made quite a few changes to the cart, got it running, got it set up. Quite a few modifications. I actually tried 3 or 4 different things. We tried raising the header bar up to reduce the bridging. That helped, but wasn't great. Made a rake style to try hold it back, break up the clumps from smacking the boom. That also helped, but wasn't quite ideal. And then I finally broke down and built the horizontal beater bar that we've been talking about for about 5-6 months now. Didn't know if we'd have the hydraulic oil, and a couple uncertainties there, but we ended up getting one fabricated here at Pierce Machine, just south of Wilcox, right by the dairy, right by Coronado Dairy here, and I'm really glad we did. We even had a couple variations of that. It's welded in a spiral, like auger style, to try to pull that product around. Plus, we ended up welding fingers onto it and putting them at an angle to kind of grab more product and fluff it up while it hits the boom. You can still see it kind of comes out in chunks a little bit still, but the spilling is greatly reduced. So it's been a great little modification we made. There's some changes when it comes to actual manufacturing that I'll do to it, obviously, but it's really close to where I want it. All right, in closing here, I kind of want to talk about what's going on down here. There's actually 3 manufacturers down here running silage. It's not just our cart. There's actually 2 other competitors' carts, so want to describe them a little bit. We have a tipper style cart that has 2 tubs that tips the product over. Can't really meter the product, but it's really simple. There's not too many moving parts. And then the other one would be kind of a cross between the tipper cart and our live bottom. It has a chain in there, so when you pick it up and tip it over, you can actually kind of meter it a little bit. That one seems to be a little on the light side. They're moving about 19 to 20 tons only with it, but it's still a pretty cool concept. Then you got ours, obviously that's 100% conveyors. We're conveying the product in the hopper up, and we're conveying it over on the boom into the truck. We can load anywhere from 1:40 to 2 minutes 20 seconds, kind of depending on moisture. The bridging causes that, and then also we've been switching around drivers a little bit, 3-4 drivers in there, just so everybody can get comfortable with it and see how the training process is going to go. But as you can see, it's working actually pretty darn good. Boy, it's been just a phenomenal company to work with, just from the research and development side. Very, very, very valuable feedback, and then just like I said, easy to work with, very accommodating. So it's been a great experience. I think this will be huge for us as a company as well, because this is a problem not just here, but a lot of the Midwest will get heavy rains during harvest, and when silage is ready, it's ready now. You can't wait a week or two for it to dry up. I mean, you got to chop, and you got to chop now to get the best moisture. So I think we are getting really close to solving a serious problem. So I'm excited and thankful that we had this opportunity to do this. Be sure to subscribe to us if you haven't already. Like this video, and also leave a comment below on something I missed or what you'd like to see. Thanks again for watching.